I was good, y'all, man. We back with another video, and I do want to clarify, like always, spoiler warning for the first season of Fooly Cooly. This is only for the first 6 episodes, so if you've seen that, you're good to go. I'm going to pretty much spoil most of the shit. Even the fact that I didn't really spoil a lot of the shit, I didn't really talk about the ending much, so I mean, it's not too many spoilers, but still enough to where I wanted to give y'all a little warning at the start, so I hope y'all enjoy, man. Didn't talk about progressive or alternative in depth at all, so y'all don't got to worry about me spoiling those, so yeah, man, let's hop into this shit. Fooly Cooly, Fooly Cooly, Fooly Cooly. Now, I'll tell you right now, man, I got a friend who's been waiting for this one for a long time, bro. Wiz has been trying to get me to watch Fooly Cooly since the dawn of time, since the fucking dinosaurs were wiped out of our great planet. I put air quotes around the word great. But he's been trying to convince me to watch the show for genuine years, unironically. So, a couple nights ago, he just calls me in the middle of the motherfucking night. 12 a.m. sharp. I live in Missouri. That's Central Time. He calls me. I pick up. I'm like, what the fuck do you want? And for the quintillionth time, he asked me to watch Fooly Cooly. And I don't know what came over me. I don't know what made me, respond like this. But I actually said yes for the first time in years, which is honestly kind of shocking to me even now looking back, but let's just say I'm very glad I did, because when I tell you, oh my lord, this show hooked me. Like, in a similar fashion to other shows I've watched recently, for example, Cyberpunk, which, yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more further on in the video. Also, got a video out on it. Chainsaw Man as well, which funnily enough has comparisons to Fooly Cooly, and even shit like Bocchi the Rock. Which actually has a Fooly Cooly reference. I'm gonna say Fooly Cooly so many fucking times in this video. But yeah, I'm gonna play that Fooly Cooly reference from Bocchi the Rock right now. But yeah, similar to those shows, man, this shit hooked me immediately. Like, I was significantly invested within 5 minutes of episode 1, and that is so appealing to me, because most slow burner shows that take a while to get into, cough, cough, One Piece, can be pretty off-putting to my terribly, very short attention span. Now, I do want to mention that we only watched the original. We didn't watch progressive, which I've heard is horseshit. We didn't watch alternative, which I heard is also, alternative I've heard some good about, but I also have still heard mixed things about both in general. Just in general, like, I've heard progressive is ass from basically everybody that's ever watched it. And alternative I've seen pretty mixed reviews on. A lot of people were just put off by both of them as a whole with pure disdain, or kind of lukewarm on them at best. They're also dropping like Fooly Cooly grunge and shoegaze, I think literally this year. And to bring back, because y'all know me, I love putting wrestling references throughout these videos. So to use a little term there, man, these joints getting heat. These are getting fucking heat, and people are angry because they just look bad. They just honestly look pretty bad. Like, considering from what I've seen, they've overhauled the animation style entirely, and honestly, just in general, they seem to be milking the damn show.
Oh man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips. You're ruining it.
Shit, that shit has some people angered, and Jim Ross when Triple H fucking did anything, literally just breathed.
That son of a bitch! Why, Triple H? You son of a bitch! Why? Tell me why! Damn Triple H! Damn his soul! You son of a bitch! Don't you hit her! Don't you hit her! You cost off to the title, you bastard! He's gonna rot in hell for what he did here tonight.
And I don't blame him one bit, to be honest with you. I'm gonna just be real. I don't blame him one bit. So yeah, the show, to put it simply for y'all, this is just sex, chaos, baseball, and eyebrows.
Any idea why?
Those eyebrows.
Playing it close to the vest? And you're smart.
And goddamn it, I love it. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Also, I do want to mention that when they revealed his eyebrows were fake, I was visibly upset that my goat was fraudulent, because we gonna get back into that detective fella later. We gonna bring him up again. But y'all know the drill, man. Y'all already know what's going on. Y'all already know what I gotta do in every single one of these motherfucking videos, man. We gotta read that My Anime List synopsis. So hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Oh god, this video's already, oh no, this is gonna be long. I can see it now. But let's read, man. Naoto Nandaba. This motherfucker also has zero drip, by the way. Before we really get into the synopsis, this motherfucker has no fucking drip at all. He wore a sweatshirt that had a 90-degree angle on it. It's up on screen right now. That shit was actually filthy, especially when he was next to Haruko, who she got that shit on, though, I'ma just say. And also, there was that one chick that wore, like, Nina Mori. She wore, like, a Soviet Union sweatshirt. So the drip in this show is all over the place, but he had absolutely none. But yes, Naoto was an ordinary 6th grader living in a city where nothing amazing ever seems to happen. And his brother, fuck! I'm calling him Taku because that's what the one bitch in the show called him. Leaves town to play baseball in America. Naoto takes it upon himself to look after everything Taku left behind, from his top bunk bed to his ex-girlfriend Mamimi. This chick was something, man. Who hasn't stopped clinging to Naoto since Taku left? Little does Naoto know, however, that his mundane existence is on the verge of being changed forever. Enter Haruko Harahara. That's such a hard name to say. Surprised I nailed that. A Vespa riding bass guitar wielding pink-haired psychopath whose first encounter with Naoto leaves him with tire tracks on his back and a giant horn on his head. We'll get to that. Though all he wants is some peace and quiet, when Haruko takes up residence at his parents' homes, Naoto finds himself dragged into the heart of the greatest battle for supremacy that Earth and quite possibly the entire universe has ever seen. That was the worst synopsis reading I've ever done. It's a little bit on the channel that I don't redo these. It's first take on all of them. That was the single worst one. I've never fucked up that many times, but we got the point across, okay? We got it done. But yeah, this in general is another Studio Gainax trigger, whatever you want to call it. It's a work from them. Production IG played a big part on it as well. Also, do want to throw in, since I did just talk about Cyberpunk in my last video, Hiroyuki Imaishi is back in this motherfucker, man. I love that. I love that, man. I believe in this, though. He wasn't like a director or anything. He just works with some animation direction, storyboarding, and key animation, as well as like other shows that he's done just in general. Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, Cyberpunk. Watch the last video, I'm begging you. And also, I do want to, since we're talking about Cyberpunk for a second, I want to talk about the fact that both of these shows just had amazing music, man. It's unbelievable. I talked about it last video just with Cyberpunk alone, but the music in this was it was unfathomable. And watching these shows back to back almost felt like I was taking in an overwhelming amount of masterfully crafted music in every sense of the word. The entire soundtrack was done by this group called The Pillows as well. They knocked it out of the fucking ballpark, man. Like, that outro is also just genuinely iconic. It has distinct visuals, amazing music, as previously mentioned. That shit literally had me in a chokehold. I had the soundtrack on repeat for the next 2 nights. Shit had me in a chokehold harder than Dolph Ziggler and OA. Holla at me. But also, the animation, man. Whew! Since we were just talking about the studios, that animation was absolutely fantastic. I loved every bit of it, especially for the time. Like, this came out early 2000s, as you all know. So it's just one of those things where it's like the animation being that good is just like, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I mean, it's kind of typical from this studio, from Gainax, but it's just still doesn't, it's enjoyable to me, man. It's enjoyable to me. It's enjoyable to you. And if it's not enjoyable to you, suck my dick. Also, the metaphor behind the series is almost like growing up and maturing and all the processes behind that, known metaphor for growing up and maturing, the mark of the demon, from that fucking one bit in the first episode.
Like something really perverted.
Yeah? Perverted?
So, what's that mark?
It's the mark of the demon! Really? Let me see.
But yeah, man. The pure creativity of nearly everything that happens is just like a literal spectacle. Like, for something only 6 episodes long as well. The action was fantastic. It was masterfully put together. The ending was, a lot of people do acknowledge that the ending was batshit crazy, but I actually found it to be well structured. I feel like if there's anything in the show I followed semi-decently, it was that 6th episode. Also had a pretty bittersweet feel to it. And also there was an extra 6 minutes of runtime that they had in the final episode that felt well used and enjoyable as well. So that was very nice. The pacing was just fantastic. The show was just meant to be batshit insane. And honestly, from everything I've seen, you were meant to lack understanding. So they did a damn good job at that, to say the least. You're almost meant to literally just feel fucking stupid. Like, and the show conveys it and all the emotions surrounding it pretty perfectly, in my opinion. The director of the show himself even stated in an interview, I believe, that it's meant to make people realize that it's okay to feel stupid in general just throughout life, because it's truly inevitable for, like, everybody. You know what I mean? And also, shout out Mother's Basement, because I would have never known the director even said that shit without watching his Fooly Cooly video that came out a few years ago. But now, brother, let me reminisce on a few moments from the series I fucked with. We're actually going pretty fast in this video. I might be able to get it less than 20 minutes. Oh, thank God. But yeah, bro, a few moments I was just like fucking with, dude. For example, the manga panel usage in episode 1, then they brought it back in episode 6 and made an entire bit about how the network told them not to bring it back. I don't know why. That shit literally floored me for 15 whole ass minutes, bro. I was dying of laughter. One of my favorite moments in the entire show. Also, not to mention in episode 4, in the start of that, Haruko was literally the second coming of roided up Barry Bonds. Shit was unfathomable, caught me off guard, and in any way. Also, going back to episode 1, since I did mention the manga panels, that horn shit, like I mentioned earlier throughout the synopsis, it felt so random. But that shit was locked in. That shit was not going anywhere. Let me tell you something, I ain't seen a horn stick to his man like that since I watched that man number 8 in Carolina.
Earlier in this game where he's been, and that was a nice pickup of 20-plus yards. Winston has time, holding on to the ball, throws, and that's another interception. It's J.C. Horn with a pick.
He got hurt, though. That shit was a shame. He still played like 11 or 12 games, but that's besides the point. Can't forget in episode 5, too, when Haruko literally delivered a literal vagina strike with a flying boxing glove coming out of her pussy. That was peak fucking fiction. I don't know how else you want me to put that. Also, there was the part where Naoto literally just practically murdered his father with a baseball bat because Haruko was giving his father brain even sloppier than my video structure, and y'all are all familiar with that. Also, again, I know I mentioned it before, but that damn Mark of the Demon might have been the cause of some said foul play. I'm gonna just leave it at that, though. That the Mark of the Demon, man, that shit had to have something to do with that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm playing. But really, like, honestly, I think that's covering most of the shit. Like, I ran through this intentionally fast, by the way, because if you guys don't know, my Cyberpunk video took so fucking long to get out. I wanted to make this one shorter. I hope it doesn't feel too rushed. I know I probably talked a lot faster than usual, so I hope y'all didn't have a hard time following the shit I was saying. Definitely fucked up my speech a lot more, but it is what it is. Like, I even made a bit just a few minutes ago about how sloppy my videos are. Y'all should be used to it by now. But again, let's get into this rating, man. The drawbacks of the show as a whole are like very minuscule in my opinion. And I'm in a positive mood, so I don't feel like mentioning every single minor nitpick that I could throw out. But I'll add the main ones. The fan service can get pretty damn questionable at times. That one was obviously coming. Even at some moments that made me just really flat out uncomfortable. The 6th episode link definitely came with some pros and cons, but in my opinion, more pros than cons. But you can't deny the cons like they don't exist. But overall, the show is still fantastic in nearly every facet, and it's just truly enjoyable of every sense of the work. You know what I mean? Moi. Finger licking good special, if you will.
On that defensive line is something finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about. All 5 they just be coming rushing and just getting to the quarterback. It's finger licking good special.
So overall, I'm gonna give this show a 9.3 out of 10. And holy fuck, I know, like I just mentioned, I was intentionally going pretty fucking fast. I got through this in under 15 minutes. Give me that. But yeah, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Again, hope it wasn't too much information being just thrown in. Editing's probably going to extend the video to like 15 some minutes, I'd assume. I don't know. I just know I have a lot of clips that I plan to throw in throughout. But the audio I was able to keep under 14, which makes me very fucking proud because I didn't want to have to, spend a week editing again because I got sick after recording the fucking Cyberpunk video. So I literally had to wait 2 weeks to start editing, and then the editing took a week. So it took me like 3 whole weeks to get that video out. And I want to get this one out a little bit sooner for y'all. So yeah, Fooly Cooly is a fantastic show, and if you haven't watched it, I really don't know why you're still watching this video, but at the same time, maybe you just don't care about spoilers. It's all on YouTube, so just fucking watch it, man. Really, like, I know I ended the last video the same way, but if you don't watch it, I'm gonna really beat the shit out of you. I swear to God.
Ricky Morty. Rick. Yo, Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. Yo, Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. Rick. Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. Ricky Morty. Rick.